My subject today, as you could see, is the roles of higher education in innovation and globalization. This subject is highly relevant to educating top talent to prepare for addressing the most challenging problems facing society today. One of these challenges is increasing the world's economic capacity to employ a burgeoning workforce, which is projected to grow dramatically over the next 40 years. The world is shrinking figuratively due to advances in communication and information technologies. A growing number of world's leading universities are positioning themselves to become international universities, and CityU is one of them. Growing numbers of international students, foreign-born faculty members, study abroad programs, international research collaborations, and campuses abroad influence this trend. For example, Purdue University has approximately 500 faculty and staff and 4,300 students from China. That's almost a small university. And that doesn't include the other 120 countries represented internationally. It also has active partnerships with 3 major Chinese universities, namely Tsinghua University, Beihang University of Aeronautics and Aerospace, and the Chinese Agricultural University. Information technologies now facilitate global collaborations among university researchers. They enable virtual networking, open data exchange, the harmonization of curricula, courseware, and degree programs, and the international mobility of faculty and students. Results indicate dramatic shifts in collaborative research, joint publications, and data exchanges. When I returned to Purdue University in 2010, after 6 years of directing the U.S. National Science Foundation, NSF was supporting over 800 collaborations between Chinese and American researchers to include joint research, workshops, and student exchanges. This was a dramatic increase from about 350 just a decade earlier. Today, there are probably over 1,000. I haven't checked lately, but it's growing in that direction. A similar shift has occurred with jointly authored research journal publications. A decade ago, co-authorship between U.S. researchers and UK researchers predominated. Today, co-authorship between U.S. and Chinese researchers predominate. An emerging opportunity for global collaboration is in addressing grand challenge global issues. These issues are of such complexity and scope that they are beyond the capabilities of a single university or even a single nation to tackle. They are a major attractor for global cooperative research. I'm not going to go down this list. If I gave you a clean sheet of paper, you could have regenerated it. And you could probably add about 3 or 4 more, or even more than that. But the point here is that the degree of interconnectedness among national economies is greater today than ever before. Serious economic disruptions in one country can impact many countries in the world. When one country gets a cold, many countries sneeze. The global community now shares a common interest in finding solutions, or at least agreeing on common mitigation and adaptation strategies to lessen the human impacts of these problems. Most leaders would agree, however, that technical solutions are not enough. One has to take into account a wide range of social, political, historic, and economic contexts in addressing these problems. Advocates for normative solutions without considering contextual factors do a disservice to the world's scientific community at large. Which brings me to the subject of complex coupled wicked problems. While each of these global problems is highly complex, the complexity is compounded by the interrelationships among them. For example, the achievement of sustainable energy is linked to assuring sustainable ecosystems and preserving a sustainable economy. Another example is food production for an expanding world population. Agricultural production, harvesting, and processing are energy-intensive activities, and they consume approximately 70% of the world's readily available fresh water. These interrelated problems are called wicked because of the large number of coupled variables. For such complex coupled systems, long-range predictions are unlikely to be found. Only projections over limited time steps. Furthermore, multiple solutions are more likely than single solutions, and one has to make a choice. Some major drivers shaping future research. How do these developments shape the future of academic research? Some drivers include growth in interdisciplinary research to tackle complex problems at the systemic level, much more complicated. Greater academic internationalization of both research and education, presumably integrated. Increased attention to technologies that can both shape and enable international cooperation. Greater use of virtual networks to conduct and share the results of research. In other words, the open data revolution. Imperatives for expanding cyber infrastructure and high-end computing, and an increasing need for multi-university partnerships for conducting collaborative research. This raises the question, how will innovation and entrepreneurship be important in the 21st century? One obvious answer is, both for CityU and Purdue University,